Welcome to my video game design portfolio. My name is Adam Marais, and I'll be going over the levels I designed for Chicken Little. Alright, Tube Surf is the level of Chicken Little that I'm most proud of. It was a more difficult level to build, and in fact I had to rebuild it several times in order to make it work properly. But I really think this is a fun level. And I think that was supported by several of the people who played and tested the game, reported to me they really liked this level. And that was really encouraging for me because I spent a lot of time on it, and I thought it was one of the funnest levels in the entire game. And I also thought it was very interesting and beautiful visually, just because of the expansive space that you get to see as you play the level. But we have fish, and he's flying through this tube. And one of the things that we came upon early on was it was difficult for the player to understand when to turn and where to be on the tube. And so one of the things that I did in order to be able to make it still chaotic and fun and having to make a lot of changes of direction rapidly was to add those, what they look kind of like landing strips, arrows, pointing one direction or the other. And surprisingly enough, surprising to me, I thought it was going to be more subtle than it was. It ended up being exactly what the player needed. And actually, as you're watching this, my son is playing the level for the first time, and you can really see the players have no trouble uh, knowing which direction to turn. So that was a great step forward. Before that, players had a little bit of a challenge. And so, really, the tuning of this level was figuring out what the right speed was, and we did a lot of R&D for that, and also just getting the level to feel right, be able to have the right twists, the right turns, the right timing for those beams of energy that go across and the fans that are spinning. Uh, to be able to make it fun, because it's again relatively simple like a lot of the levels in this game, but when we tune it just right, it can be a very enjoyable and fun experience, which is what I think we got with this game. So the next level I want to talk about is Dodgeball Hall. In this level, Chicken Little is traveling down a hallway, dodging obstacles, and really all he can do is jump and move from side to side. Early in the development of this level, which was a great level to design, was at first he was free floating, moving from side to side. We came up with the solution of putting him on 3 separate tracks, and he can move between the 3, and that solved a lot of problems with not being able to really tell where he was and hitting just the corner of lockers and really messing up the player that way. But other than that, it was just a lot of tuning and polish at trying to get the right timing of lockers falling down and children running through the hallway to create the right level of difficulty for the player to be able to be challenged, and yet for the controls to be intuitive and for them to have, really fun with this level. So by taking a very simple mechanic of just rolling down the hallway and jumping over lockers, but adding the shattering glass and the kids running through the hall, I think it becomes something that's fun and chaotic and a simple gameplay mechanic, but is actually quite challenging. And you put this on the hardest level, and I think anyone's going to have a hard time trying to finish it. And that was also a lot of fun trying to make it challenging. And last but not least, I want to talk about Goosey Chase. Now, this level is all about Goosey. It was all about tuning her to try to get her just right, and about the level, designing, a level that Chicken Little could run through that would give him, enough obstacles to jump over, enough kids running into him that would slow him down enough that it made it interesting for the player to try to run away from Goosey, which is essentially what's happening in this level. We added the dodgeball in order to give Goosey something, so it wasn't just a binary of Goosey catches Chicken Little or doesn't catch Chicken Little. There was something she could actively do to slow him down other than just the mistakes of the player. Uh, at first, when we put it in there, it was a little difficult to understand what was happening, just because there's so much chaos in the level. So we added that particle effect to her hand to telegraph to the player that, hey, a ball is about to come to you. I was able to get the parameters under my control of being able to, control how accurate she was at hitting him with the ball, how fast the ball was coming, so I could tune it to make it fun to play, and also for each difficulty level. At the highest difficulty level, she's much more accurate with that. It'll slow you down a little longer. And so those things really were, fine tuning. And then after that, it was really setting up the level to make it, challenging for the player to come down and get away from Goosey, and also have, kind of fun moments where kids are bursting out of doorways and getting in Chicken Little's way to make this level just a lot of fun. It was a fun level to design. I enjoyed the challenge of it. Something relatively simple to make it fun for the kids who'd be playing the game, and that's the Goosey Chase level. So that is my brief overview of the levels I built and rendered for the Chicken Little video game. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.